What really stood out to me, man, just from watching, I ended up watching your week one highlights that you sent in, and then also I watched your some of your stuff on X that you had sent on from your 7-on-7s and stuff like that. And the thing that really just caught my eye was just your elusiveness with the ball in your hands, just being able to make that one little cut and just be able to hit that crease and everything. And that's just what really caught my eye. Now, my suggestions for your highlight video are the following. Okay, first thing is an information slide at the very beginning. All right, and the best way to go about this is to go on Canva. All right, this is free, and so you'll put the information of your name, school, graduation year, position, height and weight, X account, email, and phone number. Okay, put all that information on the left of the Canva slide. Put a picture of you on the right. Download that and then upload that to the very first thing in the Huddle Highlight video. Okay, and with the reason we want to do all that is so that a coach has all of your information he needs right there as soon as he opens your clip or opens your film. Okay, he knows how to get in contact with you. He knows how to follow you on X, because personally, with how short these coaches' time is and how valuable it is, if they can't find how to contact a kid or cannot find them on X or something like that, they will pass on them. And I have personally had to do that, and we don't want that to happen to you. Okay, and they like having all of that information right there at the very beginning, so that's the best way to go about that. Now, with that being said, you have your week one highlights. The best thing you're going to need to do, we'll kind of talk about this as we go, is combine all of the year's huddle highlights into one highlight film. Okay, that's going to give you more of an opportunity with things, give you more things you can put out there. All right, more categories and sections we'll kind of talk about in the film that really kind of help out. Okay, now with that being said, need to remove captions. So this is for a new huddle highlight film and the film you got on here now. Okay, at the 114 mark here. All right, we talk about the let's see here. It's got the wait for it spot shadow. Okay, and that is the biggest thing, is just not having that on there. And the reason being is just kind of like the background sounds. Okay, so that little portion right there that I just showed. So like the wait for it on there on your spot shadow, any captions that you ever have pop up with background sounds or music, any of that stuff becomes a distraction to the college recruiter from evaluating the film. Okay, they're sitting in an office watching 60 to 100 kids in a day, dark room, lamps on, music's going. The reason I can say this is because it's exactly what I did. And you're just watching kid after kid after kid. All right, and you just get in a zone. And that's the biggest thing, is when you get in that zone, you don't want to leave it. You don't have anything distracted, because sometimes when things pop up, it kind of gets you out of your zone. You kind of get frustrated because now you got to get back in that zone. And so we want to don't have anything that's going to hinder you in that aspect. All right, so remove those captions, remove that background sound, and any music and future stuff. Now, going to sequence of plays. All right, for you, how we do things, okay, is we want to do long TDs and then short TDs, and then your short TDs is anything from your 15 to 25 and into your red zone type stuff. Then your explosive, that's anything from 15 to 20 plus yards down the field. All right, big plays on that, and then any blocking. Okay, if you got some good blocking clips, because no block, no rock. Right, so we need to add some of those in there, because receiver coaches want to know the guys that can block out there on the perimeter, and their remaining offensive highlights. Right, and this is not necessarily an explosion play, but a good play that still showcases what you can do. Okay, still showcases the little things that you can do, maybe how you run this route, or going up and getting a high point football or something like that. Okay, or running a dig across the middle and catching. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at. Now, within each of these sections, we want to have 3 to 4 to 5, maybe 6 clips in each one. Right? Now, that doesn't mean you're going to have 6 clips in each one. You might have 3 in one and maybe 7 in another, something like that. Okay, just to kind of give you that time frame. If one doesn't have as many, then you can have a little bit more. But within our time frame of our whole video, we want to aim, if we're able to, okay, and if not, it's fine. We want to aim for 3 to 4 to 5, max of 5 minutes. Okay, and the reason being is because after a minute, if a coach does not see anything on film, he's going to pass on. Like I said, he's watching 60 to 100 kids in a day, so he can't watch 60 kids for 5+ minutes of film, because that's going to take too long. All right. Now, with that being said, the best way we want to set this up is, like I said, I already kind of told you the order, but we want to put the best plays first within each of those sections, okay, and then taper it from there, because we want to be able to capture that coach's attention early and keep him watching. All right. Now, what I've done here is I have gone on and I have timestamped the plays I believe how you should start out. All right. So starting here at the 6-second mark here. All right. Let's get that up here. All right. And being able to see that on here for you, okay, and just see how we can get this thing rolling. So here at the 6-second mark, all right, just being able to run this post right here, okay, and just being able to kind of take the top off. Now, this is kind of what we want to see, being able to go back, come get the football, okay, go meet it, especially in a rain game like this. I've been a former quarterback, throwing that ball is very hard, so doing a great job for you coming back in the football, and like I said, that elusiveness, you had 3 or 4 guys around you, and you were still able to score, okay, great job there. Now, going to that 42-second mark, all right, starting off with your explosion plays, okay. The reason I would do this one over the 22-second mark, I would start with this one because of you run a great route, okay, over 15 to 20. Again, still be able to get something, but then you come back up and you follow that up with that 22-second mark of kind of just showing you're being an outside receiver, you're having some deep stuff, but then at the same time, being able to show you running some jet sweep stuff, okay? Being able to put that foot in the ground, get vertical, all right, it's a great job there, break attack, some tackles, like I said, great, and that's where that elusiveness I keep seeing come into play, okay? So that's a great job there, how I would order those. I go with the 42 and then the 22. Now, go into your main, then you go with blocking and the remaining offensive highlights, okay? So going to the 102 mark here, all right, just to be able to show you kind of what I'm talking about, what I'm meaning, all right? Boom, we got a burst out right here, okay, 10 yards, okay? Like I said, we're not to 15, but that's a great job. Still, we're in pouring down rain. You're still able to make that catch. That's a great job there, all right? And then at the 114, like I said, remove that spot shadow. Again, give you another jet sweep, be able to cut it up, get you, make a spin move, make some guys miss. Do we get 15 yards? No, but that's where a good thing, still showcasing what you can do with the ball in your hands. Okay, that's what we're really aiming for. So, like I said, make a whole video. Okay, add all film from. Don't add 7-on-7 clips in, but add all the film you can from the season. All right, that'll help out. Add that information slide. Remove the captions. Remove music, background sounds. Add that sequence of plays like we talked about. And overall, this will provide a more dynamic highlight video for college coaches. Now, after going over the game film feedback, let's take a look at what divisions you should target. I'm basing this off of the most recent highlight video, which is exactly what college coaches are going to do, and where the athlete can receive a scholarship right now. All right. Again, this is a current evaluation off the film we have right here. Okay, opposed to a projected evaluation. Okay, this is not projected. This is current right now. And with that being said, that's based on a few criteria. First thing is the graduation year. Okay, you've got a couple years. Use this to your advantage. You kind of know what you're needing to do now. Setting up your highlight video, we're going to talk about how things we can improve on, how we need to go about the camps and everything else. So this is a great thing to use this as an advantage. Okay, then they're going to look at your size, foot speed, long speed, and strength. That's what they're going to look at for a receiver standpoint. With that being said, the levels you should look at today are D3 to lower to mid NAIA. All right, now you may not start getting interest from these colleges yet due to your graduation year, okay? But that does not mean that we can't start the communication process through emailing them, calling them right now, all right? Start getting your name out there, because when they get done with the Spring Bowl, they're going to come look for 2027s, and then now, boom, once they come look for 2027, your head coach can say, hey, coach, keep this kid on your radar. He's going to be a player, okay? That kind of gets your radar. He says he's sitting film to him, and that'll kind of help them go, all right? You can also start getting your name out there through social media. Make sure you're following these coaches on X. Make sure you're DMing these coaches. Okay, DM them your new video. All right, make sure you're marketing and branding yourself in the correct way, doing things on the field and off the field in the right way. All right, but here's the deal. The reason we want to send our film, though, is because we need to know whether or not a coach likes us and likes our film before we decide what camps we're going to go to. Okay, now, we don't always get those answers sometimes with our graduation years, but using that in that stance of how we can put our money towards the right things and going to the right camp. So aiming for these levels. Okay, this is kind of what we're looking at. Maybe we can go a little bit higher on our level of what we're looking at, where we can put our money to on camp. Maybe we go with these levels here. Okay, that way we're putting our camp to that money, or our money to that right camp, because when you go to these mega camps, there's 1,000 kids there, and you sometimes get lost in the shuffle. As a coach, I've been there. You lose kids. You get a 40-page paper with 1,000 kids' names on it, and you lose track of really getting to truly evaluate somebody. Okay, so making sure we're doing that. Because here's the deal: when you go to these camps, sometimes with the right ones, you're going to be able to introduce yourself to that coach easier. You're going to be able to develop that relationship. So when you send him that midseason highlight, he's going to know who's watching because of that relationship he built with them. Okay, but here's the deal: how can we also attack these levels and get better? My suggestion to improve your game that translates to college football and possibly a higher division are the following. First thing is strength training. All right, making sure we're adding good weight. Developing more explosion and power, okay, squats, quick explosive jumps, ripping through, okay, just having that quick twitch. You got to be able to get off those jams from corners at the line of scrimmage, okay, going over the middle. got to be able to, when a linebacker's trying to wall you off, you can't let him. You've got to fight through it. You got to be able to go compete with strong hands and come down with the jump ball. You can't wait on it all the time. You got to go up and get it. Foot speed, dot drills, ladder drills, cone drills. Okay, got to get out of that break. Top of the route stuff as fast as possible. Okay, you get a press from the corner, you've got to be able to get them a release. All right, long speed. If you're not in track, you've got to be in track. That's going to help that track work and that speed training. You get called for a deep ball, just a fade. You've got to be able to take the top off. Okay, you can't get caught. The fastest, that's the deal. Those fastest players are the ones that are running track. All right, develop that receiver craft. Okay, keep working on the jugs and tennis ball work. All right, working on that hand-eye coordination. When I coached receivers, every small drill we did, we finished with the catch, whether that was with a football or a tennis ball. All right, got to make sure we're working on that using those hands. Okay, developing a deep and quick game route tree mastery. Okay, being able to run a route tree from inside and outside receiver. That is going to help you when coaches are looking for kids and giving offers and stuff like that. If you can do it all, that just makes you that much more versatile. Right? And for schematically as a defensive point, that makes it that much harder to game plan and stuff. Okay. Now, and then lastly, adding this in there for you is flexibility. Okay. Pre and post training stretching. If you guys don't do it as a team, make sure you do it on your own. That's going to be part of that individual work. Because here's the deal: this is going to help prevent injury, and your best ability is your availability. If you're dinged up and nicked up over these next couple of years, that's going to hurt your chances of video, which is then going to hurt video, which is then going to hurt your chances of offers. Okay, but then you go to the college ranks. If you're dinged up and nicked up, that hurts your chances on the depth chart. All right, so you got to make sure you're taking care of your body, especially as a receiver. Those hamstrings are very important. Okay, you guys run so much, you got to take care of your body. Okay, flexibility and stretching is going to be a big thing for that now. Now, these improvements are what a receiver college coach will look at. So double down, do all these things, hit it hard, and if it translates to your video, this can help you level up your evaluation and possibly have an opportunity at that upper NAI to the lower to mid D2 level. All right, but Zion, at the end of the day, man, everything will come down to your individual work, your outreach, as well as your marketing on social media, and that relationship building with college coaches. Which is why the next step is your athlete interview, where you're going to get an interview with a coach and get coached on communication and your interviewing skills, which is critical for the conversations you're about to start having with college coaches. So make sure you watch the video beforehand and be ready to go. If you have any questions, we'll be able to answer them at the end of the interview. Thank you.